welcome back to another YouTube video, and today it's another IRL video, and that is because this is the LG V40 review. This guy, because whenever I was just screwing around, you know, as you do whenever you drink way too much caffeine. And I can't fall asleep, even though I've been awake for like I had like 17 hours at this point. So we're not going to talk about that, but what we are going to talk about is this phone. So this review is going to be another long one, so I will again be putting timestamps down below in the description, so go take a look at that. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like, because that's the only thing that you can do nowadays, thanks YouTube. And also hit that subscribe button as well, because it really does help me out. I recently took a look at my S10 Plus review that I did, and for a while it was hovering at, you know, about 100 and something views. But now it's actually been popping off recently. It's at like 400 views or something like that. It's pretty good. This was my daily driver phone for almost 2 years, actually. When I did the math, I was actually using this for quite a long time. And because of it being used for a whole year, plus with a really crappy case on it, it's received some severe battle damage. All the cracks on this screen, by the way, were caused a few months ago. As you may have already seen the S10 Plus review, which, by the way, will be in this corner. Yeah, probably. If I got things right, it'll be in this corner. Hopefully. Anyways, I have now retired this phone as my daily driver, and also, sadly, LG has retired from the mobile phone market. I know this is not exactly recent news, as I did make this script like several months back, but you know, it is a real shame because LG made some good devices over the years, and then they all promptly failed. Because to be frank, LG had crap digitizers and crap product quality. Because I had an LG G2, I got it for $10 off of Facebook Marketplace. Digitizer, dead. Bought a replacement screen, digitizer, dead. So it's a clear problem with those phones. And of course, I also got a G3 for free, and somehow lost that one. But also, it had a corrupted eMMC module or something. I got it to boot into Android once, and then never again. So that was swell. But anyways, enough of the rambling. You guys are here for a phone review after all, I would imagine, or else I don't really understand why you would have clicked on the video. So, we'll be talking about all aspects about the device today, including the cameras, the performance, and the durability. We're going to be talking about all that today in this 2021 phone review. And to start things, we're gonna be starting with durability, because this ain't a great look, you know? This is not great. So yeah, it's not a strong phone, really. Like my previous phone before this, the LG G6, was actually really freaking sturdy. Like, I never got a case with it at all. Like, I barebacked it with a skin that was very similar to this, you know. But yeah, like, it never cracked or had any problems like that at all. But this phone right here, before I got this skin, I think I had it for probably 3 months or so, something like that. And the back glass cracked. Like, right along here, a huge chunk basically broke and cracked out of the glass. And then it kind of spiderwebbed across, you know, like down here and up to here and across over to this way. It did not survive my nightstand very well. And of course, the front glass is destroyed because Well, you guys all know the sadness that was my concrete floor. Because I fixed it. It's carpet. Okay? You can't break a phone if it drops on carpet, right? That should be reasonable, right? Even though that I know this thing will probably die from a floor, which I am not happy about, but there you go. Next, we get to talk about the design. That's honestly a really good way of describing this phone. Now, don't get me wrong. LG, they made some good good-looking phones in the past, like, for the time period, especially the G3. I mean, that was a really cool phone. I mean, it was either that or like a Samsung. I guess during that generation, they would have been up to the S4? Or would it be the S3? I don't know on that. Somebody tell me down below in the comments if I got that one wrong. But this thing really looks just blander than bland, and honestly looks slightly like an iPhone X clone. You know, it just has a camera protrusion with 3 cameras on the back and slightly curved edges, which are not very curved anymore due to the screen protector I have to make sure this thing doesn't get completely decimated by one drop of water on the screen. And of course, the slight curve is kind of neat. Samsung did the same thing years ago, which I really never had a problem with either. And yes, the phone still does have a headphone jack, okay? Until I get this back on flagship phones that are other than Sony's, I will stop complaining. But until then, I will complain until the day I freaking die that we lost the headphone jack and the micro SD card slot on phones that cost more than $500. Like, am I not wrong to be really mad at that? Now this notch though, I know I just got a phone with something technically worse than a notch, but these front-facing cameras are honestly quite annoying. One is 8 megapixels and the other is 5. They look almost identical in picture quality and take up way too much space. Also, this earpiece speaker is not amplified, even though it's massive, and is too quiet during phone calls. However, something that I didn't put in the script, and something that I did notice while, just using the S10, normally, is that Samsung didn't put an IR sensor in the notch or anywhere on the front of the phone. So you can't have an always-on display, at least in the sense of how LG did it on here. Because how LG did it is because they had enough room, they added an IR sensor, and whenever, like your hand or some object go like this close to the screen, the display would go black. On the Samsung, that's not the case. But anyways, back to the script. But the color on the back, though. Before I put a skin on it, it was pretty nice. It was black, but in the right light, it could have a deep, real deep navy blue sheen to it. But I think I've rambled enough, and it is time to move on to something that is quantified in terms of data, which is performance. All of the fingers. Performance? I mean, it has performance. It's just that nothing feels particularly snappy. Super responsive. It's all fast, but not in a way that makes the device feel snappy. Also, LG's skin is on this thing really kind of sucks. All the animations are kind of drawn out. There's just nothing really all that remarkable about it. And one particular issue that really annoyed me when this was when this thing was my daily, is a weird one. It's blurry text while scrolling slowly, which is very strange, and I've never had that issue on any other phones, especially one that has an OLED. Like, That's not something I would have expected at all. Games, of course, though, do run well, which is mostly down to the Snapdragon 845. So you get 60 FPS in roll to tank splits, at mostly high settings. 40 FPS or thereabouts in Minecraft with 12 chunks render distance. And crossed-out mobile honestly runs about the same, 40 to 50 FPS at medium set. 2D games just run fine, including that Road Trip 2 game I was saying had issues on the S10 Plus, and all apps and games load at a respectably decent speed. Now, how about some specs, yeah? This phone was actually really good for the money when I bought it used, given the specs, which, by the way, I didn't buy it cracked. All these cracks are mine, and this is actually the first phone that I had. Oh, I didn't mean to unlock it. This is actually the first phone that I've had that I've cracked, at least on accident. My old tablet I cracked on purpose, twice. First time fixing it, and the second time was dropping it on its freaking floor. Back whenever I didn't have a carpet, the whole screen's just shattered. It's insane. But of course, let's go ahead and cut to CPU-Z. So it has a Snapdragon 845 with 6 GB of RAM, and feeding that is a 3300 mAh battery, which struggles to last me a day of using the device with light to moderate load. The phone is very light though, at 169 grams, and the screen is still a 1440p OLED. However, that OLED does not get all that bright in the sunlight. Of course it doesn't have your perfect trifecta of cameras though. 12 megapixel standard, 16 megapixel wide, and 12 megapixel 2x telephoto, which is a really good combination. As I already said though, the front cameras stink, and I'm not going to talk about them anymore really. It does have a fancy DAC, which is, for those of you who don't know, a DAC is called a digital to analog converter, and basically it just makes audio sound better, but only on better headphones and stuff, which, of course that DAC can make some wired headphones sound great. I have tried it with my 80 ohm DT 770 Pros, and can confirm that the DAC really was a selling point back in 2018. Bass sounds clearer and more pronounced, and the volume gets plenty loud on the big stank 50 ohm and above mode, which, by the way, is not user configurable. But really, one really cool thing is the DAC gives you granular volume control, only when you plug in something to the headphone jack, but still. The phone does have 10 watt wireless and 15 watt wire charging, which is okay, I guess. The speaker, that's right, the only speaker, which is this downfiring one, only a gimmick that LG tattered for this phone, is that you can set it on an empty box and make it sound better. Which I did actually use that a couple times, because I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. I can't really say it sounds better though. And I will say, because of that fancy box mode, this thing actually vibrates in your hand. That's right, if you're playing audio out of the speaker here, it just vibrates. It's almost like a vibration motor, but not. It's honestly kind of annoying. Especially whenever I got used to an actual not stupid speaker in the S10 Plus. Although honestly, I'm kind of struggling to say much more about this phone, so let's head on to general usage. This phone, as said previously, doesn't really last a day on one charge. Most apps run fine, and the device doesn't crash much at all from regular usage. Slow scrolling, blurring words, geez, that's a mouthful, is really annoying when trying to read articles, which infuriates me, as it's an OLED. How the crap is the pixel response time bad on an OLED? That's beyond me. The photo quality and video quality are alright, so that's nice. So, of course, I'm making the video right now. You know, you got the script. This is the wide angle. I plasticed over the AC, and that's an old Sony Trinitron over there. 150 pounds, 30-inch CRT. But 16 by 9. Ooh. And, yeah, you know, and this is my face. And you can't change the... You can only zoom in with the lens that you're using. You can't change on the fly, which is very lame. So that's kind of dumb. Okay, conclusion time. So, if you want a phone that stands out and has a nice user experience, go get a cheaper Motorola device. Honestly, like a G Power or a G Stylus or something like that. Honestly, you'll have a better experience. I honestly got this LG simply because of the fact that it was 121 bucks 2 years ago and had a Snapdragon 845, which back then I was still going to school and I actually had a reason to get a more powerful phone for playing games when I wasn't doing anything, you know. But of course, that price, $121, we need to talk about that. So I did get it on eBay, of course, like I do most of my phones. And because this phone is so unremarkable, it lost 80% of its value after only 2 years of existence. Let that sink in for a second. This thing lost almost more value than a new car. That's insane. So, if you need the power that this thing really does have, and only want a phone with an OLED screen, this phone isn't a bad show. But be warned, there will be no more security updates, or at least recent security updates, as LG Mobile is dead. So that means that you might get updates if you're lucky, but you'll be waiting for them. I mean, you already were waiting for them back before LG went bust. So, I guess nothing's changed, right? I don't know. And you know, LG Mobile being dead is a real shame, because I really would have loved to see that rolling phone concept. But yeah, guys, if you like this review, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. And also hit that bell icon, because I am trying to upload more often, that I'm seeing that the channel's growing, right? Yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, guys, buying this phone, the 2018 review is over. So this has been Diamond Miner 11, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.